So how do we link all these great plans around our life, our purpose, our intentions? How do we link them back to money? And whether we like it or not, most things in our lives have a link back to money. It might be creating the ability to buy things or to experience things, but it might also be the ability to have more flexibility, to grab hold of those really good golden years when we've got time, money and health, and realise that sometimes we can achieve that a lot sooner rather than having a lot more money when we're old and in our 80s and 90s, which we're probably never going to spend, but actually maybe exchanging that for some of those golden years when we're 55, 60, 65. And so it's about planning and understanding and linking all these great plans and visions that we have and making sure that there's a financial plan behind it. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a look at how some small adjustments, some sensible and prudent changes can lead to huge impacts in people's lives. So here's a hypothetical client called Ivor Plan. Now, in this case, he's got a decent income, he's built up some assets, built up some pension savings, etc. And his general outgoings are around about 30,000 a year. However, he has tax and other expenses to go along with that as well. And so by him working to age 68, he has a decent income all the way through life, and his retirement's affordable. He has state pension, a final salary pension, and then also some savings that he's going to spend as well. So it's all looking okay for Ivor. But then when we have a look at Ivor's overall wealth, over time he keeps accumulating. And so as we can see on the lower graph here, as he gets all the way through life, he ends up with a huge surplus of wealth that he's never ever going to touch. But maybe for him it's ideal to have good time, good life, when he actually needs it. So maybe he wants to have a look at something different. So he puts the scenario, what if I was to retire at 60? So here what we've now done is pulled his retirement date forward to 60. And look, his plan still works. He's using his assets in a slightly different way, but he's still got a surplus of income all the way through his working life. And then he can carry on to do the things that he really wants to do when he's at age 60, capturing those really golden years. And then again, when we have a comparison with his expenditure and also his overall value of wealth, we can see that actually it still keeps going up. But yes, he's drawing on it quite heavily in the early years between 60 and 68, but then his state pension starts and actually it continues to grow again. This is more money than Ivor actually needs. So the most important thing to Ivor now, he realises after exploring those deep questions that we ask with clients, is that he wants to make the most of those early years. So what if he was to retire at 55? Well, we can see now we've got red on the far right hand side of the graph. Red is never usually a good sign, it's a shortfall, so he actually can't afford to do that because as we can see, he then runs out of money. He draws down all of his savings, his cash, his investments and also his pension. So Ivor's left then with a shortfall. But if we look closely on the left hand side, whilst he's still working, he actually has a surplus of income, which at the moment we'll just assume that he's spending or wasting or whatever he's doing with it. But what if he was going to use that in a slightly different way? So now by understanding how important those ideal years are for Ivor, he's realised that maybe he'll commit some of that surplus income to saving for his longer term retirement. Because he knows he's only got to do this for 15 years and then he can actually retire, stop work at age 55. So what he's done now is put this into a pension. The plan now works. He has enough income to support himself. And look here, now we can see it really growing in the early years when he's contributing towards it, tails off when he's spending it, and then sort of holds its own for a while until he really needs to start eating into that quite aggressively. But it lasts him his whole lifetime to age 100. And here's the two graphs compared. His expenditure against the value of his savings. And actually the value of his investments as well. His pensions, his resources, enabling him to do all those things that he really wants to do when he's able to do them. And to round up, here's a comparison of where we started, where his life was completely affordable, but he had a huge excess of money and resources at the end of his life. Whereas now it's actually given him the ability to live the life now, as soon as possible, to do those dreams, to change that lifestyle, and to do what he can do whilst he can do it, whilst he's got those key resources of time, money, and health on his side. And all of this, of course, is only possible by really understanding what it was that he really wanted to achieve. So whether it's saving for something specific or a change of lifestyle, or maybe it's buying those extra years of money, health and time, or maybe it's just about creating greater ease and freedom for you by building your financial plan around your life plan, around the visions, the goals, the aspirations, and having taken the obstacles out of the way. We can avoid guesswork, we can avoid assumptions. It's your life, you're the one who should be enjoying it as much as you possibly can. And of course, by following these various structures, by following these steps, it's a far greater chance of it actually happening.